All right, don't mind my messy desk because it is Inktober. Got my sketchbook ready to go. Got my prompts on the left side. I taped them in because your girl doesn't have glue. And we'll go back through these later, but these are all the sketches I've already done. As of today, when I'm recording this video, it is day 7, but we're going to do day 8 together, and then I'll take you guys back through the process and a couple of the other days of what I've got so far. I do always sketch it in pencil first, and then I go back in with pens. So just reaching into my little box here, getting my couple of favorites out. I've actually been just using a couple of Faber-Castell pens and a couple of microns, and then every once in a while I'll do a Sharpie just to fill in some really black areas. But I'm loving the Faber-Castell pens. They're doing really, really well for me. All right, so just getting set up. So this prompt is sun, and what I came up with was a girl sitting in one of those like aerial acrobatic rings. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but there's really cool performances that I've seen in person and on YouTube. I love watching people go into these rings and then go way up in the air and just do crazy stuff. So that's what I'm doing, but this girl has just gotten done hiking. She is tired. She wants to enjoy the sunset. And what better spot than this magical ring that just came out of nowhere in the middle of the woods and she can sit and enjoy. So anyway, but yep, just going through, I'm outlining all of the lines that I know I'm going to fill in all black with the thicker Faber pen. Is it Faber? Is it Faber? I'm not really sure, but either way, you're about to see one small problem that I do run into with this pen. I'm going too quickly, and I am way too confident. And yeah. But don't worry, it's something that I can fix, and I do fix later, but it does stress me out for the next 3 minutes or so, just until I can get back around to it. And yeah, I'm a lot more careful with that last curve. I had to keep reminding myself that I do not need to add the details. Like I started doing the wrinkles in her shirt. I started doing the hair strokes, and I'm going to go back in with a thinner pen and do that. Oh yeah, look at that. Got to take the wins when you get them, guys. But anyway, so pretty much almost done, and this is one of the Faber-Castell brush pens. I have never used a brush pen, and I actually forgot that I owned this. But look how lovely it is for filling in silhouettes or big black spaces. Like, ugh, it goes on so smooth. I absolutely love it. And it never dries out. Like Sharpies, every once in a while you're using them and you're coloring a big space like that, and they'll still kind of dry out. But not this thing. It just keeps going. All right, there's those little fine details. Like I was saying, I'm going to go back in and do the hairs, evening out the boot, just kind of making sure it's all, starting to look like a real person. You probably can't tell what I'm doing here because my arm is completely out of view, but I'm basically just stalling and trying to decide what I'm about to do with these mountains. You'll see in a couple other sketches that we go back through, I'm trying to figure out cross-hatching. That is one of the intentions and goals that I set for this Inktober, was to practice my cross-hatching with ink. I have never, ever been good at it, at least not to the level that I think I should be. And it's crazy to me because I understand shading when it comes to pencil, but this is just so different and so precise. I mean, you have to just space things a certain way. If you don't space them right, the unevenness, you can see it. At least I can, and it drives me crazy. So this is just me daintily putting in some lines just to feel it out, and I'm liking where it's going. I think I understand the structure of the mountains that I've drawn. I think I'm getting in the correct angles, but we'll see. I gotta be honest, I was so happy when I saw the prompts for this year's Inktober, because every once in a while they'll have like a real spooky year and other kind of prompts that I really wasn't into, and I kind of just did my own thing. And I didn't really stick with it, but everything on this year's prompt list has something to do with hiking, the outdoors, adventure, and it's just so crazy to me because you can check the timeline. I did not know what their prompt list would be, And I just think it's kind of fate, you know. I'm doing a hike and sketch series, trying to get this thing started, trying to do a couple other things and get my name out there and my art out there. And it just happened to be the perfect prompt list for me. And I've been loving it so far. And it's been really motivating, which is really important. You got to be able to stay motivated. So this is when I start going the other direction, and you can kind of tell I'm starting to freak myself out. I put a couple of lines in and say, nope, not doing that. A couple lines over here, we're going to just kind of taper it in. I like what I did there. And again, I can tell I'm not ruining this, but there's something missing. If anybody out there is an ink artist or likes working with these fine tip pens, let me know if you have any tips. I'm actually planning on getting a book, I think, on inking and art, ink and art, and just seeing what there is technically that I'm missing. So, besides that, I think I'm super happy with the way this is turning out. I decided that this is going to be basically just a big body of water in front of her. And I wanted to make sure the distance was captured, which I do think I did a good job. I made the little dots, at the bottom of the mountain get bigger, and you can kind of see the waves as they're coming towards her. All right, and feeling pretty confident, liking where it's going. I erase all the pencil marks that I can still see, deepen up the darker ridges a little bit with a thicker pen. Don't really like it too much, but we're all right with it. And then I decided I wanted to screw up the sun. Yeah, that line right there just messed with my entire day. But I got around it by deciding I'm going to thicken up the outside line of the sun. And then I would choose, obviously, that stupid line and a couple other lines to make thicker so it would be intentional. And I think I hit it pretty well. And that is day 9 completed. The prompt was sun. And again, it just made me think of one of those aerial acrobatic rings with a hiking girl sitting in it because she is so tired and just enjoying the view. Simple, but it's what I wanted, and I'm pretty happy with it. All right, now let's say goodbye to the hiking girl and let's go back a day and check out this one. Day 8, the prompt was hike, and I actually took this photo at the top of Flat Top Mountain in Alaska. It was pretty much the first hike that I've ever enjoyed, and the top of it is just gorgeous and just open. Passport was the next day. I had no ideas for this, so I just basically looked up passport stamps to the place that I want to go, which is Spain, and I just made up my own. All right, so this was the day that I spent almost 3 hours on one single day's prompt, which you can tell, there's more details. I started with this sketch, and I was pretty happy. I, did a reference photo from Venice and a reference photo separately, obviously, of the Starship Enterprise. Put it all together, and it looked good. Binoculars is this guy. It's a bald eagle, and obviously they have the best vision ever, and even though I'm terrified of birds, I can still appreciate nature. So this is the sketch that I started with for it, and this is with the ink added. Actually, it didn't take me that long, and I expected it to. All right, I love this I think it's a gibbon. I looked up exotic monkeys for the exotic prompt, and I absolutely love the way this one turned out. This is probably my favorite one so far. I started with a kind of detailed sketch in the face, but the rest of it I left really airy and open because I wanted to make him look like he was glowing, and handing you a treasure map, which is pretty dang exotic. Okay, so this warms my heart just to talk about. Boggs Footwear, that is a boot that I wore in Alaska on that Flat Top Mountain hike. And look how sweet they are. They commented on my post and then said, artists are the heart and soul of this world and to never stop drawing. And I was just like, you got it, Boggs. I love you. I love your boots. Thank you for the support. That was super, super cool. And yeah, this boot I bought in Alaska specifically to go back and conquer a mountain, and it held up. And she still holds up, and I still wear her to this day. All right, day 2 was discover, and I kind of just thought of somebody opening up a door. This was actually a few days after I painted that door from my watercolor video previously, and it kind of obviously inspired this sketch. I have no idea why my camera jumps around here, but I apologize. There's probably too much going on in the middle, which is my only complaint about this. I wish I had simplified the view just slightly. You can kind of tell maybe the problem was I didn't have enough detail in my sketch, and it just left me way too much freedom, and I just went crazy. So it's still cool, but could have been better. All right, first day was backpack, and this is everything I keep in my backpack when I go out doing art, at least right now. Tripod, a watercolor set, some brushes, sketchbook in the back, and I always have to have my Fiji water. But yeah, pretty happy with it. Love the prompts. Check me out on Instagram and also TikTok. And again, if you're interested, there's all the prompts, or you can just look them up. Inktober is on Instagram, I believe is where it started, but they're also on Facebook now. Thanks so much, and me and Mowgli appreciate you watching. Come back next week, and I should have another round of Inktober drawings to go through.